What is up, guys? We are back for another YouTube video, and today this week we are reviewing the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max all-wheel drive. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but I've been spending time with this lovely SUV, and I'm obviously going to tell you guys everything that you need to know about it. So let's go. So the Tiggo 8 Pro Max all-wheel drive is essentially another iteration which has been added to the lineup, and as you may already know, if you're not living under a rock, this is a 7-seater, a very plush and luxurious feeling 7-seater, which also offers great value for money, as we've come to expect from the Tiggo, or the Chery lineup of cars actually, rather, straight down from the Tiggo 4 right up to the 7 and even the 8 in this case. So this is a 7-seater, as I mentioned, and guys, this is probably one of the best value for money offerings that you can probably buy. So let's start with the looks before we get into how it's like to drive, as well as the interior and so forth. So from the exterior, this specific model obviously looks really good. It's got the chrome grille up front, which looks absolutely amazing, and it's even got the logo, which now illuminates in the nighttime, which I think is quite a bit of a gimmick, but it's a cool feature to brag about at the braai with your friends. So furthermore, you've also got some really cool alloy wheels, which look nice, and overall the Tiggo 8 has always been a very good looking SUV in my opinion. At the back you've got the solid light bar, which looks really great too, and at night, if you're from a distance and looking at this car, one would almost swear that this looks like a Porsche Cayenne. Tell me, do you guys see the same too, or am I just going crazy? Let me know down in the comments. But anyway, the back looks really good. You've also got the quad tailpipes, which I don't quite understand, because why does this car have quad tailpipes? But anyway, it's got them, and yeah, you can brag to your friends that your car has 4 exhaust tailpipes. So the taillights especially look really good. You've obviously got the light bar, as I mentioned, over there as well, and I mean, this car really looks premium. It really does look the part, which is a really great, or it deserves a great thumbs up from myself. So moving over inside, this is where the premiumness and the luxurious feel of this car really comes into its stride in this Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max all-wheel drive. So you've got these really plush seats, which are oh so comfortable. You've got these headrests with this really plush feeling part on the upper side, and I mean, it feels so good. I mean, I can imagine driving on a long road trip in this car. It must feel so pleasant. So you've obviously also got a lot of adjustability in terms of electric adjustability and lumbar support with the seats. And nice thing is the seats are also cooled as well as ventilated. So I've currently got the seats now and the ventilation on, which is really quite nice, especially on this very hot day in the middle of winter, which I also don't understand, but anyway, we'll take it because yeah, it's been so cold lately. But anyway, the seats are quite comfortable as well, as I mentioned, so that really does deserve a thumbs up. Moving on, the overall layout of the infotainment system and the cabin actually looks quite good. So you've obviously got the 2 digital screens in front of you. So in front of the driver, you've got the instrument cluster with your 2 dials, as well as the portion in the middle, which you can customize to show different kinds of information, such as your trip information and your tire information as well. And then moving over to the left hand side, you've got the infotainment system, which obviously has all of your entertainment displays such as your Bluetooth, your radio, your Apple CarPlay, and your Android Auto. Everything is quite easy to navigate, but the user interface, in my opinion, is not the greatest. And I wish you could have slightly better to understand and read icons in the interface, but alas, that is a small gripe, so nothing too major over there. So another gripe is that whenever you do touch the buttons, you don't get any feedback in terms of a vibration or any sound, so you don't actually always know whether you've pressed the button or not, which for me is a bit of I'm not too sure. I mean, I would have liked to have some kind of feedback to tell me that I've actually pressed the climate control button, but alas, again, this is the case. So anyway, further down you've got some wireless a wireless pad over there to charge your phone, as well as a USB-A port and a USB-C port, which is quite cool. You've also got 2 cup holders, as well as a physical volume button. I mean, in the days now where cars are just embedding everything on the steering wheel or in the infotainment system, that is quite a cool feature to have. So you've got a physical volume button as well as a mode select button for all your different driving modes. But here's something that I'm not too big of a fan of.
Normal mode entered. Sports mode entered.
I mean,
normal mode entered.
Why are you telling me like I know which mode I've entered? But anyway, here we are. And you've also got some other shortcut buttons as well for other vehicle functions over there as well, which is quite cool. And below the armrest, you've got a really big storage binnacle over there, which also seems to feel like when the aircon is on, I think it also gets cool, which is quite cool as well. So if you put some stuff in there, they'll remain either hot or cool depending on what your AC is on. So something about this car, in front of the steering wheel, behind the steering wheel rather, you've got this little thingamabob over here, which is basically where cameras and sensors are basically positioned, and these are basically constantly reading your eyes and seeing what's happening with your eyes. And if you are not focused on the road ahead, it'll actually bring up a warning to say that you are being distracted. And while it may be a good thing, I feel like it can be a bit intrusive, because you could perhaps be trying to control the AC and it'll pop up. You could be trying to control the infotainment system and it will pop up. I mean, it can get a bit annoying, but it doesn't really make a sound or anything like that, so it's not going to be constantly beeping at you or anything like that. But it is a bit of a like, why are you there, you know? So under the bonnet of this Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max all-wheel drive, you've got a 2-liter turbocharged engine which produces 187 kilowatts and 390 newton meters of torque. And just a pro tip, in case you didn't know how much torque Chery cars have, a quick and easy way to be able to gauge is just looking on the badge at the back. That usually denotes the amount of torque that a specific model has. So this one on the back is written 390, which obviously then means that it's got that much torque, which is quite a cool thing to brag about your friends to and to your bride. But it's got 390 newton meters of torque, which is plentiful, especially for this car. And as I mentioned, it's an all-wheel drive, so it's sending power to all 4 corners, which has been extremely needed in these products, because previous models were front-wheel drive and they tended to be quite powerful, and when putting that power down, it didn't necessarily do a very good job at that. So with this model, that is rectified and it is a welcome feature. So it does feel like the whole power plant now is really aligned and it makes sense in terms of its power delivery and actually putting the power down, if that makes sense. So You've obviously got sufficient power for most day-to-day usage, and I haven't felt like I needed more power or I wanted for more power from this car. It's felt sufficient enough, and I've been quite impressed with it. So I think that's really also quite a cool thing about this specific model. Fuel consumption, you might be wondering how much it sips or drinks rather, and this specific model, throughout my time testing it, has been sipping 11.7 liters to the 100 kilometers, which I think is not too great, but it's not too bad either. I mean, especially given the fact that this is a 2-liter engine and it's quite a big car. It's a big car, it's a heavy car, so you're basically moving around a very big car. So 11.7 liters, basically 12 liters to 100, is not too bad, but it could be better because Chery does claim a lot lower than that. From a practicality point of view, you've got more than sufficient space, whether it's in the boot, whether it's in the car itself. I mean, rear legroom is quite impressive. Even in the front, storage and space is just overall really impressive. And I think most people, if not all people buying this car, will certainly not be disappointed by that. So now we're coming down to everyone's favorite part of the reviews, and that is of course the pricing. So this specific model comes in at 731,000 rands, which, if you ask me, is actually quite decently priced considering the competition. So given the fact that this is a 7-seater, if you look at what you could get elsewhere, I mean, you could probably get into some Korean cars like your Hyundai Tucsons, your Kia Sportages, or maybe even your VW Tiguan All-Spaces. And I think given that this car is really well priced, I mean, it really offers a lot. You've got a really great package all around, and I mean, I think it's definitely a worthy contender to all of those cars that I just mentioned. It packs a lot of value for money that you may not necessarily get in something like a VW Tiguan, which obviously will be quite appealing to most people. So I think for the pricing that it's got and what it offers, it's really a good contender, and people should definitely, or if you're considering buying one, you should definitely put it down in your shortlist if you're shopping around in the segment. So given that this is how much it'll cost you to insure this car with Naked, and the cool thing about Naked is that you don't need to stress yourself about arguing or negotiating for a better deal with a call agent. I mean, Naked's technology basically gives you the best price given your profile for your chosen car. So check them out, link via my bio down below. But anyway, this car has been absolutely great to live with. I've absolutely enjoyed it. I think the Cherys are a really great bunch of cars. They make some really cool cars, great value for money, which I think the consumer definitely needs, and I think you should definitely consider this car if you're shopping in the segment. But that's it from me. I think I've really enjoyed this car, as I mentioned, and let me know what you guys think. Would you guys buy one of these Cherys, or what would you buy for 730,000 rand? Let me know down below. But anyway, that's it from me. Catch you guys on the next one, and as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, most importantly, and as always, please tell your friends that Mpo Mahlangu or Mpo_Shami on all Instagram or on social handles is there, and check out my content. But anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one. We out.